There is absolutely no cost for any of our camps. You register online, and then you are required to put like a deposit down, but we also don't want that to be a barrier to any family, so just reach out to me if that is an issue. And then at the end of camp, you then get your deposit returned to you. So in actuality, all of our camps are free.
I absolutely love that. Now, how can families who want to have their children experience this, how can they sign up, how can they register, and how can they get in contact with Peak Initiative?
Yeah, so you can head to our website at peakinitiative.org. On the website, there is a register button, and you just create a very quick and easy account. You enter your campers' information, like their grade, and then it'll generate all the camps that are available to you.
Thank you so much for sharing all this information and joining us here today.
Thank you for having me.
And this has been your Community Spotlight with Peak Initiative right here on the award-winning 1017 The Truth.
Truth Nation, stand up and tap in. This is 1017 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of judgment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. If you have anything on your mind you'd like to share, say, or just do. Also, you can go to youtube.com/@101.7 The Truth. And you can watch and listen live. It's going to be one of them days this Wednesday, I can tell. It's dreary outside. It's cold outside. Last night was pretty nice. I sat outside. I had a meeting. It was like 61 degrees. Everybody's like, well, you got a jacket on? Because I'm sitting outside. Well, yeah, go away. They were all in, like, Georgia, Texas. Whatever. Let me check my YouTube chat. Hey, what's up, Kwanda? Where was you yesterday? We was looking for you yesterday, and we couldn't find you. What's up, Mal? Greetings. How's everybody? Willie. Hey, what's up? Willie on time today. And, of course, SC. Where's Curly Q? Where's Curly Q? Let me see. Hey, Zach, do we give Mal his black card back?
No, he wasn't first.
Okay, yeah. I told him he'd get his black card if he was first. He was second. So there you go. There you go. No black card. Try tomorrow. And if you don't get your black card back by Friday, you are excommunicated. Miles said Dr. King created his own black card requirements that require to like hot sauce, chitlins, and chicken. You only need to like 2. I only qualify for hot sauce, so he decided to take my black card away. I snatched it. Quanda said I needed a personal day yesterday. Personal day is you pop in, you say, hey, I'm taking a personal day, and then I'm out. That's what you do to get in. That's what you do to get attendance. Get counted, and then you leave. Don't you know how to play that game when you was in college? Come on. Come on. That's good to hear, Quanda. Sometime you got to take a day off. Y'all be sweating me when I take off. How come you took off? What are you doing? You took off. So it's good to see everybody alive and well in the YouTube chat. All is well today. But I want to talk about something we talked about the other day, because we brought up the topic, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. Remember I said that the other day. And I started thinking about all the stories that come out, and I'm going to talk about later. I think it's in my top 5 at 5. I don't know. About the gerrymandering that's taking place and the districts that they're doing, and the court that said in Louisiana you couldn't have an all-black district. People are upset and they're mad, right? And I think black people see the world in a way that is important to them, just like Irish people do and Italian people do and generic white people do and Jewish and all that. I get it. But I also have some thoughts about it that you may or may not agree with, which is kind of why I do Dr. Ken's Truth, because most people don't agree with it, you know? But some things are worth saying. I think your lens is your limit. I've talked about it before. Politics, economics, religion, social, whatever way you look, what's around you, what's internal, your experiences, what's near you. We're talking about people that talk and change their intonation based on who they're with. If they talk about Asian people, they get a stereotypical Asian tone. If they talk about Hispanic people, when they say the name Rodriguez, you know, they roll their R's and do all that stuff. Some things near people impact them. Other things that are social, things that are economic, the lens you see through. The problem with that is your lens is your limit. Now, there's a difference between understanding race and seeing things only through race. I think white people tend to see things through their lens. I think the issue is they believe their lens is the only lens, everybody else's is wrong. There's a problem with that too. When you cross the line, when race becomes the only lens you use to interpret the world, you don't sharpen your awareness. You start to limit your vision. Now, let's not get it twisted. Race matters. In America, race has shaped opportunity I've had, access I've had, policing I've done, policing I've been victim of or witnessed, housing where I've lived, the education I've had. You name it, it's happened. Race has shaped it. Ignoring race is naive at best, but it's dishonest at worst. So here's the problem, and I'm going to say it. When you only see the world through a black lens, everything becomes filtered the exact same way. Every disagreement becomes oppression. Every setback becomes discrimination. Every success becomes suspicion. And when that happens, you don't get clarity. You lose complexity, actually. because not everything is about race, even though race touches a lot of things. I get it. If every negative outcome is automatically attributed to racism, two dangerous things happen. First, you stop asking better questions. You don't ask, was I prepared? Did I execute? Was the system flawed, or did I misread the situation? You skip straight to the conclusion of racism. And in that moment, you lose the opportunity to grow. Second, you give away your power. Because if everything is controlled by racism, then nothing is in your control. And that mindset, that's not liberation, that's confinement. It turns resilience into resignation. See, I believe that when you see everything through a racial lens, you start to misread people. You walk into a room and you already assume opposition. You interpret neutral behavior as hostile. You expect bias. And there may not be any present. I think over time it does something to your spirit and you start living defensively. You're not engaged, you're guarded, you're not building, you're bracing. But if you live your life always on defense, you miss opportunities that require offense. What does that mean? Well, you never really trust them because you've already decided who they are based on their skin color, based on yours. And sometimes you're wrong. And I know you're ready to argue. Acknowledging racism is not the problem. Fighting racism is not the problem. The problem is reducing every single thing, every interaction, every word, rereading everything and forcing it through the lens of racism. Because when everything is racism, then nothing is accurate. Nothing is evaluated accurate. And inaccurate evaluation means you're going to come up with a strategy to overcome something that's not there, which makes it a poor strategy. If you're building a business, leading an organization, mentoring young people, you can't afford to misdiagnose reality. Because if you tell a young person the system is against you and stop there, you have told them the truth. This is the truth. But it's not the whole truth. The truth is, yes, even for me, I can speak for myself, barriers do exist, but so do decisions. So do habits and disciplines and networks and execution. And if you ignore those things, you don't prepare people, you handicap them. But that was my little mentoring stab. You train them to expect resistance, but you're not training them how to overcome it. How do you overcome it? Execution, networks, discipline, habits, and decisions. And when race, black race, becomes your only lens, it can also shrink your identity. I hate to tell you this, you're more than your race. You got values, you got discipline, your mindset, your skill set, the relationships you have, the networks you have, the choices you make. But if race is the dominant definition of who you are, you risk building a life that reacts instead of one that actually creates. And I'm here to tell you, our ancestors didn't die crossing the river from Kentucky to Ohio so they can get to freedom. That's not what they fought for. That's not what they died for. They didn't fight this fight just so we could see oppression more clearly. They fought so we could live more fully. And living fully requires more than one lens. You have to be aware. It requires agency. You gotta have understanding and ownership of you. And you have to plan. You gotta have strategy. And if you find yourself asking yourself and explaining, if you see yourself explaining everything through race, you need to pause. You need to ask yourself, what else can be true here? What else do I need to see? What am I missing? What part of this is actually within my control? If you overuse the black race lens, eventually people will stop listening to you. We overused it with DEI, and people stopped listening. Not because racism isn't real, but it's because your analysis stopped being precise. And when your analysis isn't precise, you lose influence. And if you lose influence, you can't make change. And so if your goal is process, not just expression, not just awareness, your lens has to be sharper than that. You have to have the full picture, not just the part that confirms your pain. See, I told you. They call me that. Oh, my God. And I get it. Pain is real. Racism is real, but operating from a place of pain is not a strategy. If you only see the world through one lens, you'll miss the angles and what's beyond it. But what is that? I'm glad you asked. Real power.
And that is Dr. Ken's Truth on the new 1017 The Truth. Need a way to hype up your day?
Hello, is this Shirley?
This is she.
Shirley, you are our Gruber 5K giveaway winner this quarter. Congratulations.
What would you do with $5,000?
Going to look at buying me a pickup truck. That will be some of my down payment.
Stay tuned into 1017 The Truth for your chance to be entered into the Gruber Law Office's 5K giveaway. For contest rules, visit 1017thetruth.com.
I love you guys.
I got money now.
Still think you're going to use those old chemicals just sitting around under the sink, in the garage, or down in the basement? We're talking things like old antifreeze, paint thinners, batteries, propane cylinders, and pesticides. So don't let them sit there. Get rid of them right away. To MMSD's Home Hazmat Drop-Off Centers. It's safe, it's easy, and it's open to all Milwaukee County residents. There are 3 locations open year-round. Let's clean up Milwaukee.
At UW Credit Union, we have best-in-class technology and peopleology. Like if you lose your card, you can stop by in-branch for a same-day replacement, or you can have a new one instantly issued to the app. So whether you prefer interacting with our snappy online interface or our in-person regular faces, UW Credit Union is always here for every you. And whichever you choose, it's the best of both worlds. Join today at uwcu.org. Federally insured by NCUA.
Are you planning a special event? Do you need a personal chef? Either way, make it tasteful. I'm Alicia the Chef, owner of Tasteful Events Catering, and we create customized food experiences for any occasion. We bring quality, flavor, and professionalism to every table. Whether it's a special event or everyday meal solutions, we focus on delivering more than just food. We create experiences. Book today or learn more online at www.tastefuleventscatering.com.
Talking about guns with others might not always feel comfortable, but it could save a life. Here's a way to start a conversation. Your family is going over to your neighbor's home for dinner for the first time. How would you ask if there are any unlocked guns in the home?
Hey, we're so excited for tonight. Before we come over, may I ask a few questions?
Yeah, of course.
Do you have any pets?
Yes, we have a dog.
Great. Do you have a pool outside?
Nope, just a big old backyard.
Nice. Another question. Are there any unlocked guns in the home?
Our guns are stored securely, locked in a safe that the kids can't access.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Now, let's just talk about what we can bring for dessert.
Learn how to have the conversation at agreetoagree.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 1017 The Truth, The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Yeah, Spider-Man and freezing full effect. You ready, Ron? I'm ready. You ready, Dave? I'm ready, Slick. Are you? Oh yeah, take it down. Girl, I must warn you.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number if you have anything you want to say about my open. Any comments, any questions, any... how do we as black people, as black elders, as black adults, teach the next generation to recognize racial realities without allowing that awareness to become a mental limitation? I can't get nothing because I'm black. I can't get forward because I'm black. I can't live because I'm black. Like, how do we get people to recognize they are and be prideful? Well, not prideful. To be honored to be black, but yet understand that that should not be an anchor that you carry around, a boulder that you drag around and use as a reason for your victimhood. Your thoughts, 833-212-1017 is the number. How do we teach the next generation to recognize racial realities? But it seems like those racial realities are always negative. The reality is that white people don't like you. So what? It's not true of all of them, any more so than all black people are criminals. So what exactly are we fighting for? I think we do more fighting with ourselves and our minds and our mindset than we do, that crap in my pocket, than we do with people trying to take us out. We spend an inordinate amount of time fighting against people that aren't even thinking about us. Like you are not filling their headspace. So why are you worried about them? Take care of you. You're going to get the roadblocks. You're going to get the problems. You're going to get the barriers. You can get all that. The question is, what are you going to do? If we spend more time coming up with solutions on getting through issues and sharing those issues, that's another thing. We don't share our shortcomings. We don't share this is my weakness and this is the thing I need to stay away from. I'm telling you, you know what mine is, right, Zach? Right there. Sweet tarts. Because I have bruxism. I got to have something chewing on, right? When I was little, I used to chew my tongue. When I'm an adult, I caught myself yesterday while I was setting up chewing my tongue. It's just one of those habits I've had as a kid. To find out later, I have bruxism. That's why I keep biting my tongue and keep biting my lip, and right? So I buy shellless pistachio nuts, the only nut I can eat, or Altoids, something that I can toss in my mouth and chew around, and it keeps my mouth moving, right? That's vulnerability. That's letting people know this is what I am. So what you're not going to do is bring some sweet tarts around me and I don't eat them. Now, don't be sending me sweet tarts either. Please no. But at some point, we have to do that for ourselves, even when it comes to race, even when it comes to barriers in our life and people put stumbling blocks in the way. You have to have the mindset and you have to have the resilience, or you're going to have resignation. Oh, well, I'm just not going to do it because, I'm never going to make it. Yeah. And I've run into a lot of people who are like that. Can life beat you down? Yes. But it's only if you let it. I guess what I'm trying to say is you got to go down fighting. You got to go down fighting. No matter what, you got to go down fighting. It's the only way. And it's tiring. And you get worn out. And that's why elders tap out, because they get tired. But you're going to get that energy back. Trust me, they're making you get the energy back today. Younger millennials and Gen Z need to understand this is absolutely nothing new. That is why older people are not freaking out, fighting, marching, burning stuff down, tearing stuff up. We've been here before. The 1960s was 10 times worse. When they start sicking dogs on you, and when you protest, instead of showing up to handcuff you and write you a ticket, they shoot water hoses on you, then you'll understand. Till then, nah. It'll just be quid pro quo. You do this, I give you that. You do this, I give you that. And you'll think life is transactional, and it's not. Until it doesn't benefit someone else. Or someone else gets the benefit and they get to take it from you. And then what? Oh, they did it because I'm black. They did it because they're greedy. Look at life through another lens. I'm not saying look at it not black. I'm saying look at it as a black person and as a human being and as a man and as a woman and as a, like, add some lenses to it. Educated, a mentor, like add those lenses so that you can see there are opportunities there that you can take advantage of. All the people that got laid off from those DEI jobs took advantage of the opportunity that was there. They got some good pay, $150,000, $200,000 a year. And then it ran out. But they didn't have a strategy. And when you don't have a strategy, you lose every time. Every single time. And so my question, pretty simple. Do we teach the next generation how to recognize racial realities? And do we do it without allowing that awareness to become a mental limitation? Let them see that life's not fair. That when you walk in the room, your biggest descriptor is your gender and your race, and people are going to hold you to that until you prove otherwise. Well, I shouldn't have to prove otherwise. You shouldn't. But that phrase you all use because you try to normalize everything, that's fair. It's not. Life is not fair. And it's unfortunate, but it's not fair. And the sooner you understand that, the sooner you'll be able to deal with it. Life, as we know it, is not fair. 833-212-1017 is the number, or you can hit me in the YouTube chat. Todd on the talk and text line said, Dr. Ken, I've seen black troopers and black deputies treat black citizens very badly. If all occupants were black on a traffic stop, everyone in the car got jacked up. I never asked them why. They treated black people way worse than any other people during a traffic stop with several occupations. So, I'm going to try to answer that through my police officer, police sergeant, police lieutenant lens. I'm going to try to answer that. If that's what happened, that's not right. However, I'm sure there's another side of the story because I only have one person telling me the story. I'm sure there's information that was written, and this was the bulk of it, but it wasn't in its entirety. I would have to know what the outcome of that traffic stop was. Did they get arrested? So in law enforcement parlance, when we say get jacked up, pull them out the car, get their ID, all that stuff. I don't know when this happened. When did this happen? Right? What year? What Supreme Court cases were out at the time? Now Supreme Court cases say it's the driver only. And if the passenger has nothing, if they got their seatbelt on and they're in good and they're fine, they're off limits. Unless you have reasonable suspicion or probable cause to what? Jack them up. Hey, I need your ID. Or if they don't have a seatbelt on, boom, then you're going to write them a seatbelt ticket. You can get their name and run them and all that stuff. It used to be we rolled up and just ran everybody in the car. Can't do that anymore. But I'll have to double check the court cases on that. The other part of that is that the odds of me getting shot and killed, odds are they're going to come from a black person in a major metropolitan city or a white person in a rural area where everybody got a gun. Me personally, I'm more afraid of the rural white person with a gun who's giving me the look and the 100-yard stare. They're giving me the, what are you doing here? And then they talk in a way that they think they're disrespecting you. You know, the same way that guy that worked for the county talked to Kyle. You know, you black fella. It's not that we treat black people way worse. Black cops have a higher. This is wrong. Let me say that up front. This is wrong. But black cops have a higher expectation of black people as it relates to crime. The back of their mind, let me rephrase that. The back of my mind is that I have to be twice as good to be considered equal. And I'm never going to be equal. How good do you think I have to be? I need to be perfect. You got to do everything right. You got to do every report. Don't make them. I caught 2 sergeants talking about me because I was tired and I wrote a report and I had to rewrite it and it had misspellings. And it was one of those days I probably went to, let me think. Yeah, during that time I was in school. And I came in the office, and before I went in the office, I heard somebody mention my name in the office, so I stood outside the office. And we got glass block windows, so you can stand outside, and if you don't stand close to the glass block, you can't see anybody standing outside. And he's ripping, and oh my God, he's got a degree, and he talks about how educated he is, and he's got misspell, blah, 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 blah. And then I spoke to the what we call clerk now, office assistant. Hey, how's it going? To let them know I was there, right? And then I went in the office. And then later that morning, I went back in and I told my sergeant, I said, you know, I overheard you talking about me. I said, that wasn't right. If I had a problem with a report, you should have given it to me and had me correct it. I said, do you talk about everybody else like that or just me? Well, I was, I apologize. I said, that's not good enough. You're a supervisor. You're supposed to be setting an example. And this is what you do? You talk about people behind their back and then you laugh at them? And stuff like that is what made me want to get promoted. So other people wouldn't have to go through that with nonsense people. Because it didn't make any sense. But that is the level black officers have to go through. So sometimes we get a little overzealous. I admit it. We get a little overzealous when we got to deal with black people because it just trips my trigger when I see black people doing wrong. You are adding to the mountains of stereotypes about black people to the point where now when they see a black cop, they assume you're a thief. Something bad happened, I would get a PI 21 and I got to go talk to internal affairs about something that happened on a day I wasn't at work, but somebody said it was a black guy. And I'm the only black guy on the shift. It gets tiring. And then you regroup and you look at it from some other point of view. You change your lens. You look at it from the supervisor point of view. You look at it from the internal affairs point of view. You look at it from the citizen point of view. Citizens, eyewitness ID is the worst thing you could ever do. It's like a 22% accuracy. It's trash. And that's where we are. He said 1999. Todd said it was around 1999. Yeah. That's right around when the crime bill had been a couple years old, a year or two old, and people started jacking people with drugs and just making the assumption, black people got drugs. But I'm going to tell you something before I go to break. Working on the south side of Milwaukee, I could tell before I pulled a car over, based on prior experience, which is limited, where the plate came back from, whether or not the person was either on probation or on parole for drugs. Pull over a white guy on the south side, South 27th Street near Cleveland at the time. Run him. Hey, are you on paper? Yes. Where do you live? West Dallas. Powder? Yep. Got it. On probation for powder cocaine. Of course, if it was crack, he wouldn't be sitting there. He'd be in prison. You could tell. South Milwaukee, Cudahy, West Dallas, and Waukesha. Paper. It was weird. Now, it's anecdotal, but if that's your experience, you go with your experience until it proves otherwise. Those black troopers, those black deputies deal with traffic every single day. Traffic is, I would dare say, the number one place where an officer is going to get killed, on a traffic stop. Checking for a suspect, dealing with that. And car crashes. Think about that. You're going to be over the top until you don't have to be over the top anymore. Some people don't know how to turn it off. And I guarantee you that black deputy or that black trooper only saw black people through one lens. And now with 101.7 The Truth Traffic, here's Debbie Lazaga.
Southbound on 43, we do have delays basically coming in from before Silver Spring, pretty much all the way down to almost North Avenue. The northbound side, we've got backups from Fond du Lac Avenue all the way up past Locust. Also, northbound 4394 backing up around the Plainfield Curve all the way up past Oklahoma Avenue. More delays from Beecher to the base of the high-rise bridge. Eastbound 94, you're looking at backups coming in from about 76th Street all the way through to 35th. On the westbound side, slowing from 35th to Holly Road. And then a crash on the ramp from Greenfield Avenue to 894 southbound. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, spotty showers, mostly cloudy throughout the day. A high of 50 at the lake, 56 inland. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 37. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Don't miss one of Milwaukee's favorite summer traditions, the U-Path Ride for Arts, presented by Miller Lite, returns Sunday, May 31st. Ride a fully closed 20-mile course across the Hone Bridge with incredible lakefront views. Kids 12 and under ride free thanks to the Brewers Community Foundation. All in support of Southeastern Wisconsin performing arts. 7 a.m. start, finish at U-Path Fest on Summerfest grounds. Register today at upathride.org. That's upathride.org.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
Honest, direct, and always thought-provoking.
Even if the system don't make sense anymore. And that's the part we got to be honest about. Education is not a theory. It's not a title. It's not a category. It's a student, it's a teacher, it's a classroom, and there's learning. Everything, everybody else, including the superintendent herself, are secondary. Assistant superintendents, or whatever the heck you call them, deputy, chief of school, everybody, they are secondary if a child's not learning. The student is the number one thing there. So if we've reached the point where the only way to defend the system is to argue that keeping teachers out of the classroom is essential to education, then we're not just confused. We backwards. And when policy, practice, priorities, and money collide like that, there's only one word for all of this: nonsensical.
Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris, weekdays from 4 to 6, live on YouTube and broadcasting on 101.7 The Truth.
You served behind the desk.
You served in combat.
You did 4 years and got out.
You were drafted.
You gave 20 years.
You gave exactly what your country needed.
And so did you.
When you raised your hand and swore an oath to your country, when you put your name on a dotted line, you became part of only 1% of Americans who did the same. You are a veteran.
You are a veteran.
You are a veteran. Because no matter when, where, or how you served, you made a sacrifice for your country, and you deserve support.
If you're struggling with life after service, don't wait. Reach out.
Reach out to a loved one, to a fellow veteran. to VA.
Find resources at va.gov/reach.
Brought to you by the United States Department of Veterans Affairs and the Ad Council.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Xavier Spencer. The Brewers' bats came to life, cracking out 15 hits and 13 runs to take the series opener from the Diamondbacks 13-2. The Crew cranked out 7 runs in the 6th, extending their 6-2 lead to 13-2. Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
We hit a homer tonight. You guys know that I ordered that. I asked Sal, would you do me a favor? Go ahead and homer and get these guys off my back. Ruthless guys.
The Crew is back at it tonight against the Diamondbacks at 6:40. The Milwaukee Bucks still have yet to publicly announce their new head coach, Taylor Jenkins, which means the Bucks head coach job is still vacant. Doc Rivers officially stepped down as Bucks head coach on April 13th and retired on April 17th after 27 years of coaching. I'm Xavier Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
This is Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. I had to run all the way upstairs because the machine wasn't working for coffee downstairs. Had to go all the way up. Had to run, go upstairs. So because I'm tired, got to remind you, 833-212-1017 is the number. Remember, I was going to say up next, Black Facts, but there's always Al. What's going on, Al?
Hey, I hope everybody is doing well. What I was going to tell the listeners, the best way to counterattack racism, let your drive and your education be the best defense, you know? And don't get upset when they call you the N-word. You know, like I always tell my nephew, I tell him, you can never be anything that they was raised to be. Cool. So just make sure you focus on you. Don't be coming all out your box because they're mad, they're angry, and they got a lot of baggage that was given to them from birth. So use their ignorance against them by pushing forward. Now, yeah, you can go upside their head and knock their head into the back of their ischium bone, but you still didn't prove nothing. Now you're being just as ignorant as they was raised.
But isn't that seeing everything through a black lens?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, because if they're going to be racist, you want to counterattack.
But what if you're misunderstanding it and it's not racist? What if they're just being
Well, if they're being who they are, they're taught that way. And usually, if they're taught that way, it's from some very dark places within their upbringing, which has nothing to do with you. So, the only thing you can do is concentrate on you and let your drive and success in your education be the best counterattack, because they want to be you. They want to go through your struggle.
That is true.
Because they've been given all this privilege and all this skin color, and they still don't have enough to make the cut. So you are already winning. So the only thing you got to do is use their ignorance against them, and let them rot like a dead dog.
But isn't it human nature to see something that someone else has and be envious?
No, absolutely not. Because you don't know how they got it. You don't know what they went through. And what they got might not be for you. What you're going to get for you might be better than them. So I don't never want what somebody else got. I'm going to get what I want or how I got it. Mm-hmm. See, when a person is that way, they're not accustomed to nothing. They're not used to nothing. Their mindset is very, very poor. Because if you value who you are, your dedication, your determination, and your inspiration to provide and move forward, you're not going to be worried about what they got. because that's not for you. What's for you is what you put in it and what you get out of it. But if they flashing it in your face or an opportunity in your face, they're very dirt poor, because when they get down to their last $2, they're the first ones committing suicide.
All right.
That's it. Have a good day.
All right.
Bye-bye.
You know, there's some truth to what he said. Example, I used to work with a guy, and I was in his wedding. I was in his wedding party, usually back in the late 80s, early 90s. Matter of fact, I was already at Milwaukee Police, and I had to drive down from Milwaukee. So it had to be somewhere between 93 and 2000. And I came down to Chicago, and it was a different. There was this one white guy. He was a white guy, good friend of mine. Love him to death. There's this one guy that was in his wedding party. I don't know if he was a relative or he grew up with him. And he was constantly telling me about the store that he owned, and that his family and him and he ran, and he made a lot of money, and he did. And finally I had to stop him and go, why are you telling me this? Like, where does it, why do you think I want to know this, or that I even care about this? Like, where? Like, I'm not understanding why you think I care that you're well off. I just don't care. As I've thought about it over the years, and this is 30 some odd years ago, as I thought about it, I remembered, I had to ask myself the question, did that come from his being insecure? Or was there something he saw in me that made him feel inferior? And that was his way of throwing around all the stuff he had, being a white guy. And I often think about him. I wonder where he is today. I wonder. I mean, granted, I don't think about it every day because I don't really care. But I wonder, like, what is it about people? We're all human. We do that. We have our own idiosyncrasies. We have our own issues. But what is that? I just wonder what that is. YouTube chat said, Aaron said, we teach our kids other realities. Probably should tell them the big truths about race and overcoming it. Absolutely. We really need to do that. Camille said, been there, sir. Aaron said, definitely better now than the 60s and 70s. That's true. That is true. It was a tough time. It was a tough time. Y'all think y'all got it bad now? Y'all think racism is bad? Y'all think Donald Trump is bad? Y'all think GOP is bad? It's not. It's not. You can overcome all that stuff. This nonsense we're dealing with today, it's nowhere near what we had to deal with in the 60s and the 70s, and to a great part of the 80s. And the money started trickling down, and we started taking control of our neighborhoods and our businesses and our schools and all that. And now we're back to where we were before. We've lost control over everything. Everybody's talking about, things have changed. No, it has not. They just took racism and wrapped it up in a brown paper bag, put it in a baggie, and pretended like it's not. And it is. They took a rubber ball, put it inside a square box, a rectangle box, told you it was a brick, and said, here, play with this. Here, sure. It's not. It's nothing near. And my fear is that by the time this generation figures out they were wrong, the way back will have already closed. We will be stuck. Aaron said that is insecurity. And He saw intelligence, critical thinking, and potential. I can't tell you how many friends, black and white, that I was a good friend with until in their minds I was more. Oh, yeah. I lost friends. I went and got I didn't believe my professor. And I know I got to take a break. I remember my professor told me, when you finish your master's degree, only 10% of the you're going to lose your friends. I looked at him like, what's this white guy talking about? He out his mind. He said, when you get an education, you're going to carry yourself different. You're going to talk different. You're going to be different. And people aren't going to like. I lost friends becoming a cop. I lost friends getting a master's degree. People stopped talking to me when I got a doctorate. I stopped taking pictures at Concordia graduations with my hood and my doctoral robe because I kept getting these, oh, that's so nice at your age you went and got your degree. I was like, what? No, I'm the department chair. I'm the professor at Concordia. This is just a picture that I posted because I was at graduation. Oh, like that's your reply? When you thought I was a cute little just finishing school, it's so great. And you found out I was the professor. Boop. Crickets. But LT got it right. Aaron got it right. That's what it comes down to. The one thing people hate in other people, success.
Coming with straight truth.
We can do anything when it comes to being organized, when it comes to making sure that we're active, when it comes to making sure that we're holding people accountable and making sure that we get something out of the deal. Y'all don't know how to make deals. Y'all mad at Donald J. Trump because he's trying to make deals or trying to say that he's the master of the art of the deal. Well, okay, what deals is you trying to make?
Catch the Tory Lowe Show every weekday from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
Are you planning a special event? Do you need a personal chef? Either way, make it tasteful. I'm Alicia the Chef, owner of Tasteful Events Catering, and we create customized food experiences for any occasion. We bring quality, flavor, and professionalism to every table. Whether it's a special event or everyday meal solutions, we focus on delivering more than just food. We create experiences. Book today or learn more online at www.tastefuleventscatering.com.
An unsuspecting driver at a Milwaukee barbershop.
I got an apprentice here shadowing me. I'll put this hot towel on, man. About a good 3 minutes, all right?
The apprentice is Donald Driver.
So when you come here, you drive?
Yes.
Your car got seatbelts?
Yeah.
You wear them?
No.
Okay, but why not?
I don't want to.
But do you know you can get a ticket for that? Mm-hmm. I'm going to give you a ticket. Bet you wish you buckle up now.
Oh, my God. Donald Driver can't always be there to remind you.
Take it, click it. There we go. Click it or ticket.
And let's reduce fatalities on Wisconsin roadways. Sponsored by Wisconsin DOT.
When you've been injured, you need a winning team on your side. Gruber Law Offices will fight for the results you deserve. Call Gruber Law Offices today, a proud partner of your Milwaukee Brewers. One call, that's all.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
It's Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Be my word.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. 54 minutes after the hour. Hour number 1. 44 degrees. Feels like 40. High is it was 55 today. The low's going to be around 37 to 88% chance of rain. It's probably raining now. We've already had 0.03 inches of the wet stuff. So, back facts for April 29th. In 1981, racially motivated slayings, Buffalo, New York, a grand jury indicted Private Joseph G. Christopher of the U.S. Army on murder charges stemming from a racially motivated slaying of 3 blacks in September of 1980. Today was the first day of the L.A. riots after they acquitted the 4 white cops in the beating of Rodney King in 1992. Richard Wright, the writer, was born in. He wrote the book Black Boy, great book. Was born in 1945. First African American elected to Congress from Maryland, Perrin James Mitchell. Master P. You know who Master P is? The rapper. Master P. He was born in. He was a rapper, actor, producer, entrepreneur, all that. Anyway, he was born in 1970. Willie Smith from Willie Ware. Remember that? Y'all don't remember that. He was born in 1948. Let's see. Duke Ellington, my dude, Duke Ellington. His name was Edward Kennedy Ellington. They called him Duke. Was born in 1899, died in, when did he die? It didn't say. Anyway. Yeah. Very cool. Those are black facts for Wednesday, April 29th. So, important things that are coming up. Also, inventor Granville T. Woods passed away on this day. So, yep. Interesting. I like looking at black facts every day because it reminds us of the things that we've done and the things that we've done in the past that shape our present day. And so I think it's really important that we always do that. In the 5 o'clock hour, I want to talk about voting. And I've got a YouTube poll question in relation to voting and being black and all those sorts of things. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Remember, Top 5 at 5, up next.
Truth Nation, tune in this week for your chance to win tickets to Tacos and Tequila Fest live from Franklin Field Saturday, May 30th with performances by Shaggy, Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, and more. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco, vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty pageant, art, installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th.
Truth Nation is the best fan base in the country.
This is my first time calling in, but I listen to you all the time, and I appreciate you and with Viv Brown and everything you stand for and everything that you do. So I want to say thank you so much for being you.
We want you to tap into the talk and text line every show, every day at 833-212-1017.
Hey, man, this station is on fire the last couple days.
Milwaukee Black Talk, 1017 The Truth.
Hey there, Jane Lynch here. You want to hear something funny? Too bad. You want to hear something uplifting that will inspire you? Good. Because today, I want to talk to you about Direct Relief, a humanitarian organization that does seriously good work when it counts. Fires, hurricanes, earthquakes. When disaster strikes, Direct Relief immediately shows up with medicines, medical supplies, and everything doctors and nurses need to save lives. Let's ship her out! Every day across the United States and around the world, they're making an enormous difference. If someone needs help, Direct Relief helps. No politics, no red tape. Hey, what you doing over there?
Oh, I'm packing insulin for kids with diabetes.
See, every box here is literally a lifeline for someone in critical need. So check them out at directrelief.org and donate if you can. You might just bring a smile to someone's face.
My name is Emma. I am 13 years old. 6 years ago, I was injured in a car accident that left me paralyzed from the waist down. Once I completed rehab, my mom applied for a canine companion service dog. Last January, I finally got to meet my service dog, Marcia. We quickly developed a very strong bond. Together, we go to my horseback riding lessons, school band practice, swim meets, and archery classes. Together, we pick vegetables, and we like to cut flowers. I love Marcia. She makes me feel like together we can do anything. I can't imagine life without her. She's a part of the family. We are just one of the thousands of teams Canine Companions has paired together over the past 50 years. With your help, we can continue for another 50. Visit canine.org to see the many ways you can change lives.
Milwaukee's Black Talk lives here. You are listening to 101.7 FM, 1510 AM WGKB Waukesha, and W269DL Milwaukee, a locally owned Good Karma brand station. Bringing you his authentic perspectives on important topics.
They live in suburbs together. They live in the city together. They hang out together, all in the same family. We're the only idiots that fight because we want our voice to only be on one side. Like, does that even make any sense? And when the side loses, you lose everything. They, on the other hand, have a voice no matter what because somebody that looks like them is always in control.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point.
Well, it's just a skewed system.
Of course it is.
It's a lot of adjustment.
But answer my question, though. Should we let people go? Should we let people go? Like, let's just forget about bail altogether. And if your neighbor commits a homicide and kills people up, if you kill people and they next to you and you just let them come back and live right next to you, they can live upstairs from you. Let them come in your house.
Frank, candid, and straight to the point. This is the best radio show in the state of Wisconsin. Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 101.7 The Truth and The Truth app.
Now, he's the mayor of the city of Milwaukee. He's a young man. Give him a chance. I only complain about things that I care about. What I want you to do is pretend like I'm in St. Louis. And all I'm asking the mayor and the Common Council president and the Common Council, show me.
Now, live from the American Family Insurance Studio at the Avenue in the heart of downtown Milwaukee, here is Dr. Ken Harris.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. It is hump day. 2 minutes after the hour number 2, and it is hump day. Let me hurry up and check the talk and text line and the YouTube chat before I get rolling. Let's see. So before the break, we were talking about how you get your part of my talking about being black and all that stuff. When you get your master's degree, you lose your friends and all that stuff. LT said, my professor told me that too. When I got my master's, I lost a lot of friends. When I started my own business, I lost even more. Even more. In my top 5 at 5, Aaron says, speaking of LA riots, was there any meaningful legislation passed because of that? Well, what was the meaningful legislation you needed? There was jury nullification, and then the feds came in and convicted them for civil rights violations under the color of law because they were acting as police officers. So there was no legislation that needed to be passed. Like you can't correct something you don't like with legislation, because then that makes it unfair to other people. The same laws were in place. They got tried by a jury of their peers in Los Angeles, and they acquitted them. And they took him to Simi Valley where it was all white. They did that on purpose. Even the judges and the prosecutors went along with it, and they got acquitted the first time out. So that was the process. They followed the process. When you have a good lawyer, just like O.J. Simpson did, the process works for you. When you got a poor lawyer or a bad lawyer or an idiot lawyer, it really don't. It really don't. Don't matter. No, you're not. LT said, Dr. Ken, I'll meet you at the Paddock Lake McDonald's. Or we could go to the New Berlin Taco Bell and get a gun and get a fight and throw out some shots. And yeah, okay. Aaron said, I mean, why riot without legislation? I was very young, so I was wondering. I don't know what you mean by that. Legislation for what? Like, I don't. What exactly are we legislating? So anyway, put that in the YouTube chat, and I'm going to do this.
Number 5.
This from Word in Black. Ooh, I like that. This from Word in Black. I like that. Put that in here. Word in Black. That's a great website. Black America's Digital Daily. Southern University, a HBCU in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, made history by graduating the largest ever group of nursing students. Research shows black patients are more likely to have better health outcomes when treated by black practitioners. The 33 graduates mark an important step toward progress in closing the racial divide in healthcare. The thing about this story is they were all black males. They were all black males. So I thought that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool. Think about that. Graduating black males as nurses. I've got a friend of mine's son who is in nursing school in UW-Madison, and I'm sure he's catching it from people there. What are you doing here? This is a woman's job. I don't think nurse has a, more so than a medical doctor, has a gender assigned to it. And of course, it's Wednesday, it's hump day, and the MPS union, teachers union is, well, they're whining again.
Number 4.
From JS Online, the article by Kayla Huynh, Huynh. Don't know how to pronounce that. My apologies. Milwaukee Public School teachers and other staff will receive cost of living raises next year under a plan the Milwaukee School Board approved yesterday, but not on the timeline the teachers union had pushed. Following about 2.5 hours of closed session, the board voted 7-1 to implement a 1.5 wage increase for staff starting July 1st and another 1.13 increase in January. Board member Mimi Reza voted against the plan, while Catherine Vanoy recused herself. The cumulative 2.63% raise matches the rate of inflation and is the maximum amount the MTEA can bargain for under state law. The union and the district had negotiated the raise for over 2 months but failed to reach an agreement. Superintendent Brenda Cassellius has said delaying a portion of the wage increases would save MPS money as it faces the $46 million deficit. The inflationary raise for MTEA represented employees are estimated to cost about $10.6 million. So Cassellius said in a statement, tonight's board vote shows we value our employees and their commitment to our students while also building a budget that will help us restore the district's fiscal standing. There were no easy decisions here. However, we are ultimately bringing employees to a full 2.63% increase by January while maintaining our obligation to present a balanced budget to the board next month. I think it's good. No, I'm not I just complain about union, but I'm not anti-union. It's one of those things that you have to deal with each and every day. And can you imagine what your taxes would be if raises could be 8, 10, 15%. It would be obnoxious. It would, yeah. People in Sherman Park would be paying upwards of $10,000 a year for raises and pensions and all that. That 7.9% we pay in tax in the city of Milwaukee, you'd be paying that on your house. At least everybody pays 7.9% when they buy something. If it's just the homeowners, well, we're getting raked over the coals anyway. And now I'm going to talk about an incident that I find, well, tragic.
Number 3.
This also from JS Online. A Milwaukee 2-year-old child died after a child unintentionally shot themselves with an unsecured gun. The shooting took place at about 11 a.m. today, 3400 block of West Walnut Street. Milwaukee Police Department said in a news release the child was taken to the hospital but died from the injury. 42-year-old man was arrested and charges are pending in the district attorney's office. It's not yet known the relationship between those in custody and the child. In Milwaukee, prosecutors often charge accidental shootings as felony child neglect. In other parts of the state, it's often a misdemeanor. That's what a JS Online investigation found out. Accidental shootings, both self-inflicted and those involving someone firing at another person, have raised concerns in Milwaukee in recent years. In February, 16-year-old boy was charged with second-degree reckless homicide after he pointed a gun he thought was unloaded at his friend and pulled the trigger. Police asked the public to keep any firearms secured with a gun lock and out of the reach of children. Gun locks are widely available throughout the city, free of charge. And a victim and the police need your help.
Number 2.
This from Fox6Now.com. Milwaukee police are asking for the public's help to identify and locate a man wanted in connection to a sexual assault and burglary that happened near 50th and Burleigh Sunday evening on April 19th. The man is in a picture in this post. If you go to Fox6Now.com and check the story, Milwaukee sex assault, burglary near 50th and Burleigh, suspect sought. It is right here, plain as day. You can see his face. Crime happened around 8:20 p.m. on that Sunday. Officials say the armed suspect entered the victim's residence, sexually assaulted a victim, demanded and obtained property from the victims. Suspects described as a male, African-American or black, approximately 20 to 30 years of age, slim build, last seen wearing a blue windbreaker-style jacket with a hood, stonewashed, torn designer jeans, and black tennis shoes. Anyone with any information on this suspect, go there and check the picture. They're urged to contact Milwaukee Police at 414-935-7401. If you want to remain anonymous, contact Crime Stoppers at 414-224-TIPS. And as always, after you read this story, I got a comment about Turnabout. I think it's fair play.
Number 1.
This from the BadgerReport.org. Open records advocates have landed a major legal victory for transparency in Wisconsin. I don't see how this is transparent, but I'm going to keep reading. In a decision released Tuesday, Dane County Court, trash, sided with the Badger Project and its co-complainant, the Invisible Institute, a Chicago-based journalism organization, in their lawsuit demanding that the State Department of Justice release the names and work history of every certified law enforcement officer in the state. They said, "We're pleased with Judge Lanford's ruling," wrote Tom Kimenick, the lead attorney and founder of Wisconsin Transparency Project, a law firm dedicated to enforcing open records law in Wisconsin. This decision is a powerful victory for the right of the public to know who has been entrusted with a badge and a gun. Here's my thing. I get it, but my personal information is none of your business. If you want to have where I work, if you want to have my name, oh, that's fine. They want things that you shouldn't have. They want the officer's name, their date of birth, their birthday or birth year, their zip code, their work history, home addresses were not requested. I don't need it because I can use that to look up your home address. This is trash. In response to the denial, the Badger Project and Invisible Institute sued in 2024. The plaintiffs argued that since undercover officers don't use their true names, releasing them wouldn't put them in jeopardy. That's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my life. So, of course, because this is here, it is going to go, I'm sure, to the appellate court. If it doesn't, I'm going to help them take it to appellate court. At some point, we have to keep people who keep us safe. Because if that's the case, you ready? Teachers work for the state, release all of their names. Elected officials work for the state, all their stuff is already. I say every single nonprofit, because people give you money, you should release the names and the dates of birth and their work history of every single person. If you take federal funding or state money or county money or city money, your organization should be subject to open records, and all of your HR, everybody that works there should have their stuff open. Then we'll see if it'll change. I say Turnabout is fair play. Go after them the way they go after you. Fire. Don't fight fire with a hose. Fight fire with fire. They light a little fire, burn down their whole structure. I'm using that metaphorically. I think it's disgusting. And they call themselves a bipartisan, citizen-supported journalism nonprofit. That's trash. That is trash. Because we don't know what they're going to do. They say so-called wandering officers have presented a significant danger to residents of every state and all impediment to lasting police accountability. Show me where. Show me where. Show me the number of cops that have floated from department to department and caused trouble and got written out. Show me the number. I guarantee you the percentage of the 600,000 cops that are in America is significantly low. But if you're going to put somebody's family, spouse, and children and parents at risk, I say you should have the same thing. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I would release every piece of information I can find out about that person and put it on every social media platform I can find. I think it's unconscionable that you would make a police officer. Now, I could even say if you put some stipulations on the data. Any officers that have worked in X amount of municipalities within the last 3, 4, 5 years. I could get with that. Officers that worked at part-time departments that float back and forth. Like, I can get with that. My name would have been at that, working at State Fair Park Police. I can get with that. All of them? And now you arrest somebody? And your excuse is, well, they're undercover, don't use their real name anyway, so it won't be about... Are you out of your mind? Do that to the federal government, see what happens. Do that to the CIA, the FBI, the NSA, Border Patrol, ICE. See what would happen to you if you tried to do that. Now, I'm not going to lie. If I was DOJ, I wouldn't give them jack. I would give them absolutely, positively nothing. Nothing. 833-212-1017 is the number. When we come back, voting rights and a YouTube poll question up next.
I travel all around the world, Dr. Ken, and when I tell you, based on my experiences, this is like the number one country that cares. Like, everything is about money. Yep. Everything.
This is The Truth Unfiltered with Denise Thomas and Dr. Ken Harris.
I've told people in the past, you have to be careful of what you complain about and what you use as a tool, because other people will take it and use it in the wrong way.
Sundays starting at 7 on 620 WTMJ and Mondays at 6 on 1017 The Truth.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, Facing a disconnect notice or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough? Support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
From my family and myself, I would like to say thank you to Gruber Law Offices for taking such good care of us.
I would say thank you because you were so human and so much of a friend during the whole process.
I'm super grateful for them representing me and doing all that they did for me.
I would just say thank you for making me feel better.
That's why I'm here, to say thank you, thank you, thank you.
Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
Join me every Friday at 11 a.m. for the Milwaukee Experience with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee. We're a city that knows how to celebrate, where the calendar is packed with festivals, the plates are piled high with flavor, and a lakefront sunrise sets the stage. Here in Milwaukee, every street leads to something worth savoring, a place that welcomes you with open arms and where joy is shared in bites, beats, and cheers. The Milwaukee Experience every Friday at 11 a.m. exclusively on The Truth with Sherwin Hughes, presented by Visit Milwaukee.
Walk in for a suit, walk out with two. It's buy one, get one half off throughout April at Nick Avani's. Suits, blazers, hats, jeans, and more. Everything you need from a hands-on team that styles you from head to toe. Find a suit, add shoes for half the price. Land the perfect two-piece set? Now add a vest for 50% less. Prom, weddings, galas, whatever's on your calendar, now's the time to stop in to Nick Avani's. Second floor at Mayfair Mall across from AMC. Buy one, get one half off throughout April at Nick Avani's. Some exclusions may apply. See store for details.
You are listening to Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harris on 1017 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. 833-212-1017 is the number. 21 minutes after the hour. What's the weather looking like? Did it get a little cooler? Forty-four. I'm waiting for it to reload. 45 degrees. High today was 56 with a low of 37 tonight. 63% chance of rain. So we'll see. It's getting a little better. Let me see what y'all been talking about. First, let me check the talking text line, because Marquis said, we have come a long way. Historical accounts and recent confessions indicate that black people were sometimes left in burning buildings by firefighters during the 60s and 70s. Marquis also said, every time there's something negative about police officers, you get your panties in a bunch and defend them. Cold. Hardly. I'm not lying. I'm just stating facts. I already said that. You think you're shocking me by telling me that I'm biased toward the police because I was a police lieutenant? What? I'm not defending anything. I'm talking about taking someone's information. I wouldn't want that to happen. Look at what they did to the CEO of United Healthcare. The way people are today? No. You shouldn't be putting people under more unsafe conditions. Are you? What? Get out of here. Every time there's something negative. Now, that's not negative about police. They think it's something great. But you got to understand, safety for the people that keep you safe, that's a problem. You think people are going to want to become cops if they know that all their information, that anybody can get their name, their date of birth, their information. You know how fast identity theft is going to happen because of that? It'll get sold on the black market. What? No. I don't think the average citizen should get that, let alone the police or what's next? Firefighters? It's no. But I already said, I admit it. I don't shy away from it. I am biased toward police officers. I'm biased for Prince Hall Masons. I'm biased for Alpha, Black Greek, Divine Nine. I'm biased. I got a problem. I'm biased for education. I'm biased for Concordia. I'm biased for the truth. I'm biased for my... I get it. Like, hey. At least I admit it. I'm just saying. 10 said a lot of these companies need unions. No, they don't. They don't need unions. You know what they need? People need to work where they're going to get paid for what they want to work, and if they don't want to work there, don't work there. Like, I've turned jobs down. How much you paying? This. Nope. Not working there. I'm not. My worth and my value is too much, and I'm not working there. And that's it. Babar said, everybody get your brains. These polls questions lately have been out of the world. This one's going to be pretty. This one's going to be pretty cool. Reginald said, remember back in the day a person could cast their vote by marking an X? No, I do not. I never remember. I ain't that old. I'm not that old. All right. So I read the story today, and I don't know if you read about it. Everybody's talking about how it's a blow to the Voting Rights Act. Supreme Court limits districts drawn for black voters. And I got a thing about it, which is what prompted my open, looking at things through a black lens. In a historic ruling yesterday, the Supreme Court said the Voting Rights Act, a landmark legislation from 1965 intended to protect black Americans from disenfranchisement, does not permit states to draw voting districts based primarily on race. So if you read in a blow to the Civil Rights Act, Supreme Court limits districts drawn for black voters. But when you read the opening statement about what actually happened, it's a little different. This is from straightarrownews.com, SAN.com. Let me say it again. In a historic ruling on Wednesday, the Supreme Court said the Voting Rights Act, a landmark legislation from 1965, intended to protect black Americans from disenfranchisement, does not permit states to draw voting districts primarily based on race. Does that say you can't draw them? No. The decision is expected to significantly limit how states and local jurisdictions draw congressional, legislative, and other maps. Some legal experts say it could chill other racially conscious remedies more broadly. The decision could have a significant impact on this year's midterm elections. Several analysts say Republicans may gain as many as 12 House seats in southern states. They use the ruling to erase congressional boundaries that previously favored black candidates in certain districts. Already on yesterday, the Florida legislature voted on party lines to adopt a new map that could lead to Republicans picking up 4 seats in Congress this November. The Supreme Court's 6-3 ruling came in Louisiana versus Calles. White voters in Louisiana challenged the creation of the district's second majority black congressional district in 2024. The district runs along the Mississippi River north to Baton Rouge. Majority opinion written by Justice Samuel Alito said the 2024 map amounted to an unconstitutional racial gerrymandering. Alito, however, contended that the ruling did not gut the Voting Rights Act, but merely set a new framework for considering the constitutionality of new voting districts. Challengers to new maps will not have to prove a state intentionally drew its maps to afford minority voters less opportunity because of their race, Alito wrote. He said the court will reject challenges that cannot disentangle race from the state's race-neutral considerations, including politics. Justice Elena Kagan wrote a stinging dissent, foregoing the traditional caveat that she disagreed with the majority respectfully. She's described the decision as this is the latest chapter in the majority's now complete demolition of the Civil Rights Act. I dissent because the court betrays its duty to faithfully implement the great statute Congress wrote, Kagan said. I dissent because the court's decision will set back the foundational right Congress granted the racial equality and electoral opportunity. So, the Trump administration sided with the white voters who sued to overturn the majority black district, and officials welcomed the Supreme Court's decision. So, NAACP said on X, described the situation as a direct attack on black voters that marks a shameful moment in our democracy. So here's my ups and downs coming at it from the middle, right? Because it's a talk show and I want to try to come at it down the middle. How does separating voters by race and creating a majority black voting district promote fairness and equal representation. We say we want fairness, we say we want equality, we say everybody's equal, but when it comes to voting, we want to vote in our own space. We say we have segregation, but we want to be able to live in our own space. Is that an oxymoron? Is that hypocrisy? What is that? And what happens when Democrats decide to use the same thing to dilute the vote because they want it? These are the same things Democrats have been doing all around the country to dilute the Republican vote. I was going to say GOP. But one of the issues they have is we've got a lot of Democratic districts alongside other Democratic districts where majority black people live, and they don't bother with that district because there aren't enough white people there. Would it change if white people start coming into black districts and then they realize that the district has, and if they could rewrite it and change the boundaries, that white people would have the vote and white people would be able to vote a leader that looks like them? Is it okay for them to do that? We're talking equity here. How does separating voters by race and creating a majority black vote district promote fairness and equal representation unless white people can do it too? And so my poll question for the day, which one of these spaces would you want to live in? And if you got a comment, 833-212-1017 is the number, or hit me on the YouTube chat by going to @101.7thetruth.com. I'm sorry, @101.7thetruth. My poll question for today, which do you prefer in a district? Same race district or same party voting district? Which one do you prefer? Same race or same party? Notice I didn't say same race with Republicans and Democrats. And I didn't say district with black and white or Hispanic or Asian. If you only had those two choices, same race or same party voting district. If the first congressional district, I'm just making it up, and it's just all of Milwaukee, or just your district, would you prefer it had the same, well, not the first, we're in the fourth congressional district. Would you have the same race for the whole district? Or you want the same voting party? 833-212-1017 is the number. And now with the final traffic check of the day on 101.7 The Truth, here's Debbie Lazaga.
Southbound on 43, a hefty ride. You're pretty much riding the brakes all the way down from before Capitol Drive down through the Marquette to the KK River crossing. On the northbound side, we got backups from Beecher Street all the way up to about North Avenue. Westbound 94 backing up from just past 27th Street all the way to Hawley Road, on and off the brakes in patches all the way to Moreland. On the eastbound side, delays from 164 all the way to about Brookfield Road, then back on the brakes from 76th Street through the Stadium Interchange to 35th. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast tonight, slight chance of showers, frost inland, a low of 37. Tomorrow, chance for afternoon showers, less than a quarter of an inch, with a high of 50. For the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 101.7 The Truth.
Life's better with American Family Insurance because we know you love working weekends. If it means working on your dream home, both inside and out. And we're here to help protect those dreams so you can enjoy peace of mind. Save up to 40% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products, pricing, and availability vary based on where you purchase insurance and by state. Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating companies, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
I'm Sherwin Hughes, and I know the power of Stars and Stripes Honor Flight firsthand. As someone who's been on an honor flight, I can tell you it's a day you'll never forget. Stars and Stripes Honor Flight gives our oldest veterans who served in any location in June of 1975 or earlier a free one-day trip to Washington, D.C. for veterans. Airfare, meals, a coach bus tour, and special flight apparel are all included. It's a day of honor, gratitude, gratitude and camaraderie. Veterans who served in the Vietnam or Korean War go to flysshf.org and ask for an application.
Do you hear that? And that? And that? Those are the sounds of a healthy and vibrant community. And to this United Way volunteer, nothing sounds better. They're the sounds of children being given greater chances to succeed in school. The sounds of neighbors receiving the support needed to overcome challenges, both big and small. They're the sounds of families gaining access to quality health care and nutritious food for their tables. And they're the sounds of members of our community who've benefited from United Way's financial education programs. See, wherever there's a need in our communities, there's a United Way. People working together to respond and growing the good for everyone. United is the way. So join us by getting involved or giving back. Learn more at unitedway.org.
Real talent is defined by what people can do, not where they learn to do it. So by stopping at the education section of a resume, you might throw away the perfect hire. You might miss someone who has valuable skills to offer to help your business thrive right now and in the future. Because the truth is this: Skills First Hiring helps you see talent others miss, like more than 70 million stars, skilled through alternative routes. When you let their story unfold, you gain a competitive advantage, because hiring managers who start with skills are 60% more likely to find a successful hire. See the real person, complete. See what others miss. Hire skills first. Learn why it's a competitive advantage at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
This is Associated Bank Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth is powered by ESPN Milwaukee. I'm Xavier Spencer. The Brewers' bats came to life, cracking out 15 hits and 13 runs to take the series opener from the Diamondbacks 13-2. The crew cranked out 7 runs in the 6th, extending their 6-2 lead to 13-2. Brewers manager Pat Murphy.
We hit a homer tonight. You guys know that I ordered that. I asked Sal, would you do me a favor? Go ahead and homer and get these guys off my back. Ruthless guys.
The crew is back at it tonight against the Diamondbacks at 6:40. The Milwaukee Bucks still have yet to publicly announce their new head coach, Taylor Jenkins, which means the Bucks head coach job is still vacant. Doc Rivers officially stepped down as Bucks head coach on April 13th and retired on April 17th after 27 years of coaching. I'm Xavier Spencer, and this is the True Sports Update on 101.7 The Truth.
More of Truth in the Afternoon with Dr. Ken Harrison is next on 101.7 The Truth app, and 1017thetruth.com.
Hey, you're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris, 37 minutes after the hour. So before the break, we were talking about voting rights and how does separating voters by race and creating a majority black voting district promote fairness and equal representation. So my poll question was, would you prefer same race or same party voting districts? And so I went in. Reginald said, I'm out with this poll. Babar said, if it was same race, then the officials would pick and choose what race holds value. I'm not, no. It would be all black or all white or all Hispanic or all Asian or all Jewish or all Asian, pick one, right? Miles said, how about the option all of the above or none of the above? And then earlier they were talking about bias and all that stuff, and I told them everybody's biased. Yeah. But I told Mal, I said, always want it easy, don't you? That's why I canceled your black card and it's listed as stolen and it's to be confiscated when found. But Babar, I don't understand the comment Babar made. If it was the same race, then the officials would pick and choose what race has value. I don't understand your comment. I need some help with that. What do you mean by easy? I'm just making sure that all the options are on the table. By the way, I will get my car back. No, you're not. The rate you going? Man, when I see that car, when y'all see his black car, cut it in. You know how when you get something stolen, like a stolen credit card, they cut it in half? You know, technically you can't do that. That it's my credit card, and that if it doesn't work, it doesn't work, but you don't get to confiscate it. That's what I was told, but, you know. Somebody said, yeah, who's running the voting system, though? If you believe that, go somewhere and sit down. Babar, your car gone. Why is it you don't like the voting system when people win and you don't like them, but you like the voting system when somebody that you want to win wins? Oh, voting is the greatest thing in the world. Barack Obama's president. Oh, my God, Donald Trump is president. It's terrible. Time out. Same system. Same voting. Same place. Same location. Probably the same workers. Probably the same machines. But, yeah. Y'all got to get beyond that. You have to get beyond that. I'm going to issue Mal a card, but it ain't going to be a black card. It's going to be a beige card. I'm just kidding. Mal, you got your black card. Come on now. But think about that. It's always easier. It's always easier. Right? Oh, it fits. It's fine. Nobody has a problem with voting. No one will have problems with black kids killing each other. They'll talk the same trash about guns and keep your guns locked up until one of them get killed. And then all of a sudden, it'll be all over the city. We'll have news and companies will be jumping in. And all the big Fortune 500 companies will be coming in and buying gun locks and all kind of stuff. They ain't buying no gun locks for black people now. They ain't helping nobody stop crime now. What Fortune 500 company has helped us stop killing in Milwaukee in the black community? Name one. Just one. Just one. Can't find it. You know why you can't find it? Because they don't care. They'd rather give you Milwaukee Brewers pothole filler, which I thank them for that. That was a boss move. I think they helped out when it was snowing, too. So that was a boss move. Thank you, Milwaukee Brewers. Way to go. They seem to be the only people that actually care. You got Fortune 500 companies here that don't lift a finger for the city. They take that tax break, though, but they don't lift a finger. They employ people, so what? You're making money. But when it comes time to actually have a hand in helping people, to use your billions of dollars to help people, they don't. They don't. And I respect these companies, and I know people that work there, and they are phenomenal. They are phenomenal companies. They just don't do anything. Everything for them is quid pro quo. I get it. They're there to make money. I am too. But at some point, your humanity, or better yet, your lack of humanity is showing. Like profusely showing. And that's unfortunate. Because you could be assisting people in this city to stop the violence, stop all sorts of things. And you don't. We got healthcare systems that are falling apart. We got a school system that's falling apart. We got a nonprofit system that we probably shouldn't have because we've got too many, more nonprofits per capita than any other city in the country. And everybody's milking off other people's money and paying their bills. Hundreds of thousands of dollars in salary, which I get. That's what the market bears. I'm not mad. But the community is not getting better. The schools are not getting better. Healthcare is not getting better. Homicides are not better. Driving is not better. The streets are not better. They're not. And we've been this over and over. The entire time We're in our 6th year. The entire time the truth has been here, we've had the exact same thing going on in Milwaukee. And every year has gotten progressively worse. Now we're at teen meetups now. Now we got teen meetups. Teen takeovers. Now they're taking over the street, screeching cars and running and ripping and running, tearing stuff up. We've come that far. And these are kids that aren't on drugs. These are kids that are not carrying guns. He's acting a fool. At least if you had a gun, I could mitigate it. If you're intoxicated, you could mitigate it. They're high. Okay. They're of their right mind. They have all their faculties. He's acting foolish. He's acting foolish. Yeah, I know. 833-212-1017 is the number. Miles said every time he calls in, he gets a voicemail. He must be calling Quanda or something. Or you calling your ex-girlfriend and she's saying like, nope, hang up, click. See your number, go to voicemail. I'm just saying. It's Quanda said, always mild, typical Dr. Ken, and I need to ask you something at Dr. Ken before Monday. Check the target. Okay. All right. Okay, I'm checking the talk and text line just so you know. Frank said, I'm generally. Southside Frank said, good evening. 10 mil is insufficient for setting up. Fam isn't the 100 million. The tool is better. Okay, I don't know what he's talking about, but okay. Like a buffet, I am generally indifferent on most things. I'll enjoy your double show, the $5. Okay. Weird. Anyway. So sometimes I have to answer stuff where people are listening on Spotify or Apple Play, Google Play, and so I don't know what they're listening to. So people will ask me questions, and I'm like, I don't really know what you're talking about. Well, no, I said something. I don't really understand what exactly you're talking about. And the reason I don't understand is because I don't know what day you're talking about or what segment you're talking about. So let's do that. Okay? All right. So what's next up on the docket? I had so much stuff I wanted to talk about today. It is just so much. While I'm at it, I beat up Teachers Union. I may as well beat up Tony Evers too. So here's the deal. Tony Evers announced this is from our sister station 620 WTMJ.com. Tony Evers announced a $410,000 grant to train healthcare workers across Wisconsin. Governor Tony Evers announcing a $410,000 in state funding to help train healthcare workers and address ongoing staffing shortages across Wisconsin. The grants, awarded through the Wisconsin Fast Forward program, will support training for more than 600 workers in high-demand healthcare fields. Two Milwaukee County organizations are receiving the majority of the funding. Bell Ambulance will receive $95,000 to train about 600 frontline responders in clinical protocols and help workers advance to paramedic and critical care roles. And Ascension Columbia St. Mary's Hospital will receive more than $260,000 to launch the state's first limited X-ray machine operator training pathway. The program will train 30 current healthcare workers, including medical assistants and EMTs. Why aren't we giving this money to the technical colleges? I think we have, if I'm not mistaken, the largest technical college in the state of Wisconsin, MATC, sitting right there, who does that for a living. They're good at it. They know how to do it. I don't understand. Are you buying votes? Are you buying, or like, is this? I don't get it. And you gave it to a private entity? I don't know. That just seems weird to me. And they're two great organizations. Don't get me wrong. They're two great organizations. But I think efficiency-wise, private organizations could have done, not private, educational organizations could have done significantly better at training significantly more people with that money. Like, I don't know how much it costs to get a degree at MATC, but it don't cost $410,000. It don't cost $260,000. I got to add up the tuition. How much? You know what? I'm sitting here. I got time. When we come back, I'm going to check and see how much it actually costs to get a 2-year degree at MATC. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. When we come back, we'll have the poll, finalized highlights, whether or not you would have same race or same party in a voting district. We'll be back.
Truth Nation, it's your boy Tory Lowe, and I need to let you know the award-winning Tory Lowe Show can now be streamed live on YouTube. How? Every day from 1 to 4. Truth Nation, I am now bringing all the smoke on YouTube every single weekday. Hey, how? I need you to go to YouTube right now and subscribe to 1017 The Truth and check out the award-winning Tory Lowe Show live every afternoon. Milwaukee Black Talk is now streaming live on YouTube. Now that's powerful.
You're a hard worker. Provide for your family and help out in your community. You've been there for so many others. But when life challenges you, when rising costs, unexpected repairs, medical bills, or simply a rough stretch make it hard to keep up on a limited or low income, you're not alone. Your local Wisconsin energy and emergency assistance providers are here for you, working together to keep you safely in your home and your heat and power on. If you're struggling with high utility bills, facing a disconnect notice, or dealing with a furnace emergency and your limited or low income isn't enough, support is available. Visit www.heat.help or call 1-800-506-5596 to apply for a hand up.
Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th at Franklin Field, featuring live performances by Shaggy, Rick Ross, Genuine, Soulja Boy, Frankie J, Mims, and more. There will be craft margaritas, Milwaukee's best taco vendors, authentic lucha libre wrestling, an exotic car showcase, a Chihuahua beauty pageant, art installations, and so much more. Tacos and Tequila Festival, Saturday, May 30th. Get your tickets at tacoandtequilafestival.com.
Sweet Talks Medical Spa in Menominee Falls. Skip the sterile clinical office feel. Sweet Talks stays on the cutting edge of beauty and wellness innovations in a vibrant, playful space promoting self-love and confidence. Sweet Talks specializes in a range of treatments including injectables, medical-grade skincare, weight loss, hormone therapies, and more. Not sure where to start? Sweet Talks offers comprehensive wellness consultations to create a customized plan centered around you. Because at Sweet Talks, your goals are their goals. Learn more at sweettalks.com.
When you're high, you feel different. Pretty obvious, right? You think different, talk different, but if you feel different, you drive different. So if you're high, just don't drive. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Happy kids heal faster, and that's why Starlight is dedicated to improving the mental well-being of sick kids across the U.S. Learn how at starlight.org.
Seriously injured? Make one call. That's all.
It's a long day today. I appreciate y'all. Thank you for hanging in here. Let's see. Mr. Medee working hard. Hey, what's up, Lucretia? Where you at? Oh, I saw she dropped in. Hey, good evening, everybody. So, final. Same race or same party? 80% said they'd rather live in a place where it's the same party. Probably be more diverse. And the same race, only 20%. I feel you, Kwanda. Go on, do it. You're listening to Truth in the Afternoon. I'm your host, Dr. Ken Harris. Tory Lowe show's coming up next. Tory Lowe or who's coming up? Tory Lowe? Okay, Tory Lowe's coming up next, so make sure you listen to the rebroadcast. We'll be back. I'll see you in 22 hours, God willing. Appreciate you. Thank you, Zach. Appreciate you, everybody in the chat, talking text line. Hang in there. Remember, we are here to serve the city of Milwaukee. God bless. Take care. Deuces. I'm out.
Be quiet.
Chicken head.